Not much room for error on that new fender. Anywho, welcome back, Benton Motorsports. We are here today. We are going to be doing a new power steering pump. Mine's been giving me not a ton of problems, but I feel like it's getting weak. Sometimes when I turn the wheel, it kind of locks up a little bit until I move. I know I got some leaks going on in the line, so I was like, you know, while I'm in here, we might as well do the WJ power steering pump upgrade. Everybody says online that this pump puts out a little bit more pressure since it has to run a hydraulic fan on the WJ platform as well as the gearbox. So this is my pump that I bought. The ad said brand new on eBay. I don't know the brand name. I'll probably link it in the description. I think this was about 75 bucks. Obviously didn't come with a pulley. That's how I got it a little bit cheaper. My pulley's fine and it's metal, so I figured I would just keep that one. It's got 2 returns on here. That's kind of how you know you got the right pump, because if you were to buy a WJ with a 4 liter straight 6, it would only have this one. So you need these 2. Oddly enough, when I was on eBay looking, they actually put these on Dodge Vipers, as well as I think the SRT10 Viper truck. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But when we swap everything over, we have to pull this fitting out, put the XJ fitting in it. We're gonna drill that out to make sure it matches this size. Some people don't do that, but I feel like if you're going this far, you might as well ream it out, right? More flow, more volume. I've also read people ream it out and they have issues, but I feel like that was a bleeding issue, maybe an air in the system issue. I don't know, who's to say? That's why we're doing this. We're gonna figure it out. Got a 5/32 drill bit to drill out the fitting. Got my pulley puller kit that I rented from Riley's, and that's about it. I think the only thing left to do is just pull the old pump. Alright, so what we're gonna do here first is we're gonna loosen the belt, take the belt off the pulley, and then we can kind of spin the pulley. That way we can get to the bolts, because you go through the hole in the pulley to get to the bolts. Alright, belt's off. So now we have 3 1/2-inch, I believe, bolts. Alright, we got 5/8 pressure line right here. So I did suck all the power steering fluid out of this as much as I could, but I would imagine that this thing is going to leak a little bit. Busted Knuckle Off-Road. Busted Knuckle Garage. Now what you want to do is you want to take it out and immediately drop it on the floor. That way you chip your pulley, you break the reservoir and get oil all over. Last one. Now we're going to get power steering fluid. Not everywhere, because I'm going to plug it with my finger. Look at that. Look at this little baby. It is so greasy. All right, I'm gonna dump this out. All right, so we got the pump out. As you can see, she is gone. Got the high pressure line up there with a rag on it. I'm gonna be replacing that. I still gotta take them off the gearbox down there, but for now, we're gonna be working on the pump. So now we got the old pump on here on the bench. We're gonna pop this pulley off. Goes like that, right? And then you put this little guy, this one's the puller side. So you put this around here, and then you put this little retaining collar over that. Then you get your biggest impact wrench and hit it with 600 foot-pounds. No, I'm just kidding, don't do that. So you're gonna wanna hold this bottom piece, grab the top bolt, and just kind of get it in. There she goes, I felt it release. A little bit of grease on these threads probably would have helped a little bit, but you pull the pulley off. Now I go ahead and put this on the other pump after I swap over some other parts. You definitely want a metal pulley. All your pulleys be metal, really, especially if you're a couple hooligans like us and we like to bounce the rev limiter when we're going up a hill. So that's a good thing. Plastic ones tend to just explode, so So now what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna put this bad boy in the vise. So what you need to take this fitting out is a 7/8 socket. I mean, you could probably throw a ratchet on there, but I'm just gonna hit it with a couple uggas. Okay. So this is your little fitting that you have to thread back into the new pump, because the new pump, the line that goes in here is different on the WJs. So you need to swap this over. So we're gonna take this pump, pull this fitting. Now some guys take this reservoir off by taking these off, and then it kind of just pops out. There's an O-ring down here that goes into the pump. I'm gonna try to not take it off because I really don't want to. So I don't have a socket big enough to get on this, at least a short one. I have some impact sockets that'll go on this, but it won't fit down in here. So I won't be able to get a good grab at it, so I gotta take this reservoir off. That sucks. So what you're gonna wanna do now is you're gonna wanna take your chisel, pull this off. All right, there's one. Now you gotta flip this bad boy over to this side and do the same thing. Pry this little tab up a little bit. Give her a couple good pounds. Giggity. All right, there. Pop off. There you have it. It was a lot easier than I thought it was. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Now we can put our pump in the vise. Grab our, I'm gonna take this, pull this out. I think there's a spring behind here. Boom! No, I'm just kidding. There is a little spring, so you don't want to lose anything that's down there. Yeah, here's the fitting that came out of the WJ pump, and here's the fitting that came out of the XJ pump. And to be honest with you, I don't see a humongous difference in those holes.
What a hole.
After further inspection, 5/30 seconds is a little too big. So I'm not gonna go 5/30 seconds. I can't even get an 1/8 inch drill bit through the new one. It just won't go, it's not even that big. It's close, very, very close. So I think 1/8 inches is plenty, right? So we're good. 1/8 inch, boom. Make sure you clean out your shavings, blow it out. That'd be something to put this back in here with some shavings and take out your brand new pump. I'm gonna put this back in our new pump. I don't know if you can pick this up on the camera, but there's like some wear on this O-ring for some reason. So I'm gonna just swap the O-rings too real quick. That way we got a nice good seal. Old O-ring. Just try to be gentle taking that off. Looks good to me. Now we insert it. Definitely don't want to go in dry, giggity. So we'll just put a little bit of power steering fluid on this O-ring. Get her nice and lubed up. And insert this bad boy. You have to push it down. There is a little spring in there, like I said. Thread her down. Just give her one ugga. Good. Good enough. Now we got to put our reservoir back on. Definitely want to clean that hole out before that. Make sure that O-ring is in the right spot and in good condition too. Push her back on. Boom. Put your clips back on. And there's a little tab. You got a WJ V8 pump on an XJ. Now you just bolt it right back in, just like this. 2 bolts, one down here. But first, I think we should put the pulley on. What do you think? So here's my old pulley. We're going to take this off. This tool got it off. Now we're gonna use this tool to put it on. And it is threaded in here. you want to get a ratchet for this or a wrench, and then put a wrench on this bottom nut, tighten it down, and in turn it pushes this pulley back on. I like that. I like that. So as you can see, the pulley is flush with the shaft. So I'm going to leave this stock like little plug thing that came on this. I have these fuel line clamps that are supposed to distribute the pressure evenly. So that, there's no way I don't think is gonna leak. This is definitely the one you do not want to use. If you're looking at it, it's the top one. I guess I don't have any experience in it, but I did read some stuff about a guy that used this one instead of this one, and I think he had too much aeration going on. But this is a 1/2-inch barb fitting, so you're gonna have to get a 1/2-inch hose to go on this barb, and then you're gonna have to go with a 1/2-inch to 3/8 reducer, because this will not go on there. So yeah, you need a 3/8 barb to a 1/2-inch barb with a little chunk of hose coming off this. Take your little 1/2-inch hose that you got. I'm gonna use about a 6-inch piece of it with a little hose clamp. It's a tiny little. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your fitting, and then the 1/2-inch side fits in there. So yeah, that's how your pump's going to look like when you have your 1/2-inch outlet to the 3/8 reducer. Got the new lines in. Now we just got to put the pump in. Probably not. Don't go crazy on these bolts. Maybe just like good and tight. As you can see, we have our little adapter fitting down a little bit, and then your feed line just goes. Make sure the O-ring's in there. Start threading that bad boy in there. You got the pressure fitting snugged up. Make sure it's not touching your intake manifold. I didn't cut any of my return line off. I didn't like how it was gonna kink this little radius right here. So I just looped it around, and it should be good to go. I'm gonna tighten this hose clamp down, fill it up with fluid, and then we'll start it.